tampering and that they are on high alert. And this is something they have independently looked into in the past.
Yeah.
The Tavares thing, when he signed with the Leafs, they looked into that without anyone prompting that. So I think there is the threat that the league does it. I think there's also an understanding that if the two teams make a trade and the guy goes there, they're obviously okay with what happened. Mm-hmm. They don't feel like something was done wrong. So I do think that that is a bit of leverage for the Leafs, that for Vegas, you don't know what the league's thinking, but you can definitely eliminate any possibilities of danger with the trade.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I do believe that this has been a practice that's been going on for decades upon decades in the National Hockey League. Mm-hmm. And to now all of a sudden feel like through a few memos that this type of behavior is going to change, I don't think is realistic at all. Mm-hmm. And just to go back to Elliott's story is the only thing the league ever has to go on is proof. And Elliott's the first one also to mention that I'm going to put this out there, but there's no proof at all. There's no smoking gun. There's nothing. All you have right now is someone that leaked something to Elliott to put out. So you tell me, without knowing anything, without talking to anybody, who would have leaked this information to Elliott? Your best guess.
Well, I mean, if it does advantage the Toronto Maple Leafs, it feels like that would be the end that it would come from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they feel that it was prolonged and happened throughout the year and something that was legitimate tampering, I think
And they would have proof of this, right?
I mean, I don't know.
Or do you just tell Elliott?
How could I know? How could you know?
No. But if you were the general manager or Brad Treliving or anyone in that organization, would you, and we're just speculating here, we don't know, we're not suggesting I know Elliott's sources or not, but if you were to have leaked it to Elliott, would you have done it as a threat or something of substance that you have the smoking gun?
I don't know. It feels to me like if they wanted to use this as leverage, and I don't know, we don't even know that they do, but if they did, that you would talk to the team, that you would, approach Vegas and be like, hey, not real thrilled about, some of these conversations we think were happening.
Can I ask, though, that to play devil's advocate for the Leafs leaking it, doesn't the fact that this getting out, doesn't that hurt their leverage too? That they are sort of complicit in this? That they, are saying, hey, unless you give us this guy, does that not hurt their leverage too in the negotiations, the fact that the tampering word got thrown out there before anything's actually done?
No, I don't see how it would hurt them.
No?
Oh, I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I do believe, again, from people that I've talked to, that Nick Waugh, is it Waugh or Roy?
I think it's Waugh.
Nick Waugh was, from everyone that I've talked to, was the compensation back for Mitch. Now, was it a package? Was there others involved? I don't know, but I think it was pretty clear that Nick Waugh was under the impression that he was going to end up a Toronto Maple Leaf. Now the tampering allegations start. Did that jeopardize anything moving forward?
I see what you mean. Between the teams, you could be like, don't threaten us. Well, we're not going to make a deal.
So now Elliott puts this story out, and if the deal was in place or the structure of the deal in place, and Elliott's story comes out, I don't
like how we're pinning this on Elliott. He had information.
Sorry?
He reported.
He reported this.
Yes.
It's his report.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is.
I'm not pinning anything on Elliott. I'm just speculating on the way we might have seen this thing unfold.
Okay.
So if the perception out there is that, and Elliott did stress this in his report, that if the sign and trade goes through, there's a good chance that the Leafs will not pursue. So is Vegas and George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon going, oh boy, we better give them what they want now or else?
Yeah.
I don't know.
To me,
Or else they've got something on us.
when every free agent time, Kipper and Borny, when the July 1st happens, millions of dollars are thrown out there immediately to guys that it's like they haven't tampered, right? So there's some sort of light tampering that goes on with every player, no matter what.
It's impossible
But the reason,
not to do it.
But having said that, it feels like if they feel like they have a case, it goes way deeper than that. That, like, you can't be like, oh, the guy signed July 1, he tampered a couple days before. That case is never going to happen. But there's been smoke with Mitch in Vegas for a year. Like, we talked about it last year. There's stuff going around that there was something at the deadline with the 3-team trade. Like, I think they legitimately think they have something here, and they're using it as leverage, and it's nice to see the Leafs flexing that muscle. I gotta say.
It's funny because we do heap praise on other teams when they're cutthroat and they make these. It's like, if you have something, by all means.
Here's the problem.
Like, if Bill Zito was doing this, everybody in the league would be like, what a genius.
Twist.
Smartest guy
Turn the
ever.
screws.
Like, and then, like, the Leafs do it, it's like, oh.
But everybody's kind of in the same boat here, Sammy. And, like, do you think the Leafs now, with all the links to Marchand and the Maple Leafs now, they haven't talked and they're waiting for July 1st to start talking?
But this is my exact point, Kipper.
Right?
This is my exact point. There's tampering that goes on in this period, no matter what.
So why is Vegas any different from anyone else?
Because I think they think it's been happening for a year. I think they think it's been happening since last offseason. I think they think that Mitch has maybe had one foot out the door the entire season. That's what I think. And that's what I think they think.
But everybody has done
not
that
for a year,
over
Kipper.
the years.
Sure.
How about Chris Tanev last year linked to the Leafs for how long?
I don't know. I just think that if they're throwing this out there, they obviously have some sort of a case.
It doesn't feel to me like it's going to have a tangible impact on much of anything. Like, I feel like if this sign and trade thing is going to happen, it's going to happen. I still think it ends up being Roy or Wah. I still, I think that ends up happening.
But could Vegas be pissed off at the Leafs for thinking that they have evidence when they don't, and they're like, you know what, you don't get Nick Wah now?
Sure. Yeah, and if they do, that's their right. That could be one outcome. It could be that this goes through and the league says we're taking a third rounder from Vegas in 2026.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it. And even Nick Wah, I'd like the Leafs to have him over getting nothing for Marner.
Yes.
It'd be nice. It'd be a nice addition. But the stakes don't feel that high. Nobody's getting kicked out of the league here, right?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the league has not heard a word from anybody on this.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't plan on doing anything unless someone makes a formal complaint.
And that is not the way it should be.
There is a sense that the Leafs have not been aggressive to the league. I'm hearing that they're not even aggressive to Vegas with the thought of this.
Good.
So it's just